Everybody, this is Kevin Bradshaw, John Bryson, and Lane here, and we are all together for our very first video together, and this is going to be on why Smackdown is better than Raw. So, John Bryson,
Kevin?
what is your overall perspective of Smackdown, and how is it better than Raw?
It's really just a better all-around show. It's more enjoyable to watch. You don't feel like it's a grind when you watch SmackDown compared to Raw. You don't feel like you want to go to bed and you don't want to look at your phone while you watch SmackDown. It's just more enjoyable, and I wish it was more successful as far as like ratings and ticket sales, because they've been really worse than Raw ever since the brand split has started monetary wise, but from a entertainment perspective, it's really so much better. I wish it was more appreciated by like casual fans.
Right. See, I feel that SmackDown is better than Raw because you got two of the best wrestlers out there right now in AJ and Cena on SmackDown. You have Seth, Roman, Owens, and Jericho. And one of them is a part-timer, or
soon to retire.
Soon to be retiring and stuff. But then those three have been dealing with each other for months. Who else is... You don't have any expansion on it.
Yeah.
You've been having the same matches on Raw for months. While you're on SmackDown, you'll see like a six-pack challenge or a tag team match pitting Luke and Cena versus Bray and Orton.
Or you'll see just refreshing matches like Dolph versus AJ, or the Dolph turning heel, which is a very new and fresh type of story and character.
That
whereas
everyone
on Raw is just kind of the same. Whoever was a main eventer before the split, they're still a main eventer. Whoever was a mid-carder, they're still a mid-carder. Whoever was a jobber, they're still jobbers. Like, no one's different. SmackDown people have been elevated, and they are much better. Like The Miz, I used to hate The Miz, not just because he's a heel, but I just never bought into him. But this brand split and his IC title reign has honestly made me a huge fan of his, and he's one of the best parts of the show in my opinion. So that's why I think SmackDown's a lot better.
What about you, Lane?
John Cena.
John Cena?
That's all I gotta say.
Does he win, LOL?
Not as much as he should. He should be winning every single title on SmackDown, but that's just me. I guess AJ is good.
All right, back to reality.
Okay,
Bro,
first off,
we are in the reality era.
Yeah, we are in the reality era, and with that, you could say that SmackDown has better storylines. With that, Bryson has said before that SmackDown has the lead writer from NXT.
Yeah, Ryan Ward. Props to you, man. You should be getting a raise because you're the best writer. Yeah, but when he left NXT, it went downhill. Like, am I the only one that can say that NXT has honestly gone downhill?
I don't watch NXT, so
I really
watch
haven't
John Cena
watched in a
highlights.
while.
I watch it still, but it's definitely a different product. You know, there's only like 3 women that really mean anything. Some of the, like they're just a very thin roster right now. Whereas back then, you had Finn, Neville, Sammy, Kevin Owens, Sasha, Becky, Charlotte, Bayley. And now it's all gone. So
Okay.
Ryan Ward, he's a masterpiece wherever he goes. He could go to TNA and turn that show back into a hit.
No, we don't want that to happen though.
Yeah.
Say SmackDown has a better pace, and them having a slot of 2 hours is the ideal for that show. It might not work for Raw since they have a little bit more superstars, but 2 hours for SmackDown is the best thing for them to, and their matches aren't draining and going too long, and there's not many matches that are too fast. Like, you might have a squash match with like Carmella that she's been doing for a while, but all the other matches have been 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 15 at most, and that's a pretty good pace of time. Lane, would you like to give your little intake at all? All right.
For life.
He's a little shy.
a little shy.
Yeah. All right. We can also say that the IC title has been used correctly and been pushed to be a main event worthy title.
There have been times where I've found it more entertaining than the WWE Championship, and that's not a knock on the World Championship, but that just shows how much better SmackDown has used their mid-card division. Whereas on Raw, compared to the other mid-card title, the U.S. title, Reigns completely destroyed Rusev, and then he completely forgot about the U.S. title once he started feuding with Kevin Owens. Like, he never used it.
That was his punishment.
Yes, punishment.
Being a champion should not be a punishment, and so doing that to him was completely dumb, useless of a reign, and so the whole
Useless reign on Reigns.
yes, and a good example of how the IC title was used correctly is the feud between The Miz and Dolph Ziggler. That was a great feud. They used him right. They used both characters right. They built up The Miz to be a great heel, even with his little affair with Daniel, and that gave him even more heat, and it made it look like them two were gonna have a match together. But it shows that Miz is a better character than he has ever been, and it gives Dolph credit that he can put on great matches, even though his character was a bit stale.
Yeah, Dolph, I've always been a fan of Dolph, but ever since about 2014, his character's always been kind of going downhill. He never really hit the glass ceiling and broke it. But I think with that IC title feud he had with The Miz, it really brought back excitement to his character. It made people invest in him. It made people believe that, he could still be a top star. Whereas on Raw, again, Roman Reigns, he's just been plowing through Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. This is what I hate about the WWE sometimes. Because they take a guy like Roman Reigns that they want, but we don't want. And so they say, okay, we won't make him the world champion. We'll make Kevin Owens, who the fans like, the champion, and we'll give Roman the mid-card title. But instead of using him for mid-card things, they still make him the top priority on Raw, so much that he, despite having a mid-card title, goes after the world title.
Yeah.
The Universal title.
The Universal, which they had match after match after match after match after match of Kevin and Roman, even on Raw, even before the pay-per-view. And another thing, SmackDown is smart enough to not have people come in almost every match on the card every week, resulting in the match either being a DQ or someone running in on interference or the match being called off. You haven't seen as much as that on SmackDown than you have on Raw. And I feel that is a great plus for SmackDown, given that they are smart enough to not do that, while Raw is not using that kind of result correctly, and they're using it way too much. And so I feel like, SmackDown are getting everything right. They are also using their wrestlers better.
Much better. Especially when it comes to the women's division. On Raw you have the same women every week wrestling the same matches, and the problem with having those same women is none of them can really take a loss. Do y'all agree with me? None of them can really take a loss.
Right.
Like Charlotte and Sasha, they're meant to be the top faces on the women's division of Raw, but they can't really take a loss unless it's to each other. Bayley, they want to protect her because they don't want to make her look weak after she was,
even though she just
the
lost.
women's face of NXT. And then Nia, she's meant to be a monster, and so she kind of has to look like one. But they don't know how to book depth in their women's roster. There's no mid card women. There's no lower card women. There's just the four main women that are always facing each other every week.
Right. So, one last point. We're gonna give it to Lane. How do you feel about Mauro Ranallo?
Mamma Mia, what can't you say about him? Dude should be on Raw. I mean, come on. His catchphrase is Mamma Mia.
And
I don't know.
and he likes to say tope suicida.
Sure. I mean, as long as I see him next Tuesday, it's okay.
Right. And this is all saying, all these reasonings have proven time and time again, week after week. Besides the ratings, SmackDown is better than Raw.
SmackDown did it one time better than Raw.
Okay, 1 week.
Yeah, one time.
But
You know the reason why? Because John Cena came back.
yeah,
And they also had 3 title matches.
But John Cena came back.
Cena wins, LOL.
They have a title match every week. It's because John Cena came back.
Yes.
But
But
CM Punk's hometown.
shots fired at Punk.
Bazooka's fired.
Oh, all right. Well, guys, that is the end of our video, and I hope y'all enjoyed it so much. We will be coming up with more ideas, maybe a video entitled Bitching with Bryson, and maybe another installment of Neckbreaker News.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
God. All right, well, I hope y'all subscribe, like, and comment, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.